Hey guys, do we have anyone in the room yet? If you are there, simply give us a comment. Miss Kim's running a few minutes late. We've got little ones to put down or get to relax. So, hey, Oki, good to see you. Looks like we're going to be a little slow getting started tonight. Captain Bart, welcome.
I'm coming.
Oh, here she comes.
I'm coming. We had babysitting duties tonight as well.
So can everyone hear okay? Everything working?
Can you let Harley out of the attic?
What?
Can you let Harley out of the attic? We have a cat stuck in the attic. Roger Dodger.
Roger, Roger. Okay, Captain Bart says we can be heard. So yeah, we'll get started on the book review in a minute, but it's been kind of an interesting day so far.
Mm-hmm.
You fell into a traditional holiday trope.
I did.
You did.
What'd I do?
You went shopping
I
with
did.
the girl.
I did. Can I go get what we got?
You can go get what we got.
I warn
Traditional
you.
holiday trope,
I warn
guys.
you, you will be overwhelmed with cuteness. Fair warning. Okay.
I can't believe she did this. Okay, guys, I can't. I can't. Sheepdog, Free Spirit, good to see you. I don't know if you caught what's going on. So Miss Kim went shopping today and fell into the traditional holiday trope. Yeah, well, Baby Yoda's close, very close.
Very close.
She came home, grabbed our daughter, left, and
Came back with this. You say hello? I know, right? You say hello? You can't resist. You can't resist.
So after the holiday season, we're taking it down to the Humane Society and we're turning it over.
No, we're not. See, I'm a corgi. My daughter's been dying for a corgi. Absolutely. I mean, I took her up there to go get it, and she literally couldn't get out of the car because she was bawling and squalling and can't believe it. And oh, Mama, I love him so much already.
Captain, you're on to something there.
Run, please, save yourself. You have to admit, that's adorable. Okay.
Well, I've been wanting to cook Kung Pao chicken for a while.
Traditional
Kung Pao chicken.
All right, I'm gonna go take her back to her new mama. My daughter is running around saying this is her fur baby. So she says, I don't need kids. I have fur babies.
So how are you guys doing this evening? And we need to ask the question, who read the book? Captain Bart says they have 3 Labradoodles. He's pretty well done. Sheepdog Patriot says he is doing fantastic this evening.
Awesome. We're doing really well too. And you want to say something? We announced this book review on Facebook, and you had an interesting person comment on one of those posts. All right, first of all, what book are we doing?
We are doing
We need to change that.
Hey.
Yeah, we're not doing EMP.
Uh-oh.
Edit, maybe. Will that mess it up? Remove? No, yeah.
Oh, I can add us to the stream. That's fine.
Can you edit it or banned or banners right there? Sorry, this is still a very new thing.
So I'm just waiting for someone to say, well, you don't know how to use what you're using.
Nope. See how that works. That didn't work.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Al.
Oh, removed yourself.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
We're trying to get rid of that. I don't know if y'all can see where it says EMP. Can y'all see where it says EMP Equipping Modern Patriot? That's what we're trying to figure out how to get rid of.
So anyway, you talk while I work.
Okay. Well, Shalom, John. I don't know how either. It's okay.
Hey, John.
Well, we're not doing EMP again. We are doing The Borrowed World by Franklin Horton, right?
Yes.
And this one I was really excited about because this is one of the books that I really enjoyed. But yeah, to say I wanted to talk about, because we did an announcement on Facebook and Steve shared it to his personal page. Don't worry about it. Not gonna work. But Steve shared it to his personal page and got a really cool response. Yay, that'll work. It covered it up.
There we go.
That'll work. We did The Borrowed World by Franklin Horton. And you want to say who commented on it?
Well, first of all, I'm a member of the DD12 Authors Post-Apocalyptic Thing Facebook group. And I noticed that, some of my friends had mutual friends. And so I, decided to do the friending, the mutual friending thing and see what would happen. And one of them accepted. Now, I didn't figure he would be watching when I shared, stuff from the Prepping in Progress group. And so I shared this, and all of a sudden, Franklin Horton liked and commented the post that when I said that we would be reviewing his book today.
We invited him, but yeah, I don't know if that would work out.
I mean, I kind of hinted around that he, but
you're more than welcome.
I didn't want to, presume, but it was.
So we got the thumbs up from Franklin Horton himself, who is the author of the Borrowed World series. It is a full book series, but we are just going to be talking about the first book in that series, which is The Borrowed World. Quick shout out. Is anybody out there who all has read any of the books in this series or read anything from Franklin Horton? Cool beans, y'all. I just tried.
Just tired. 4:30 going to bed. I can't remember The Borrowed World, Steve. Well, Uncle Al, it's how do I describe this? Horton doesn't do big events, as in, the EMP has struck by, the traditional nuclear bomb in the air. What he does is a terrorist attack, attacking points in the infrastructure to wipe it all out.
If we want to jump right into the first part of the book, which I found extremely interesting, is I'm going to try not to use the big T word, just in case YouTube doesn't like us using certain.
The fundamentalist word?
Yes. The M word, the T word. Y'all can say it in the comment section if you want to, but certain people from distant lands who may worship an Abrahamic religion that is not Jewish. And it is
who pray toward Mecca.
There you go. There you go. A certain group of persons that I'm trying not to get flagged by YouTube by bringing up. And there goes the live stream. But see a documentary on the failing infrastructure of the United States and are quite interested in what they see. And so they ship copies of it to their brothers overseas. And they start planning a attack,
a multi-phase, multi-state,
multi-cells
cell attack that cripples the electrical grid, cripples the
oil
refineries,
oil reserves.
I mean, it's coordinated and well thought out.
Dams that were already kind of starting to show wear and tear.
I believe they knock out either Memphis or Nashville.
Memphis, I do believe.
By taking out a dam.
Taking out a dam. Somewhere in Tennessee. I want to say it was Memphis that they said they took out an entire town by knocking out one dam. Later.
Bye, Uncle Al.
Night-night. But I found it a really interesting approach that Horton did. It, like I said, I was really excited about doing this because it's not another EMP. The last two we've done have been EMP books. And this one takes it to a whole different level of something really realistic, honestly. It's well-coordinated attacks on the infrastructure itself. Memphis gang professional experience speaking. Okay, not Memphis. It was somewhere in Tennessee that they took out from a dam. No spoilers. I'm not going to tell you the town.
But you know, I am blanking on the name of the town that they use the dam. You do want to. I've never found where Horton says that the series are interrelated, but the cellular structure of the event is very similar to his Locker 9 book. And that we will be hitting Locker 9 because that is one of my favorites, and I refuse to give up, without doing his Locker 9. But anyway.
No, I wouldn't mind seeing it since you're kind of friends with him now, to actually ask him. And if y'all would have any questions for our dear friend, Franklin Horton, the author.
Dear friend.
Semi-acquaintance that we just met.
Guys, literally, I have sat back in chat rooms and listened to him speak. I have sat there on the page and listened to him speak. We are not friends. We are, hi, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
But he does do a lot of, where he does like attacks, where it's not a solar flare or something like that that's kind of over dramatized and overdone, but something very realistic that could happen.
Yeah.
Very similar to the coordinated attacks of 9/11, but just infrastructure instead of large buildings and things. Attacking the power grid, attacking oil refineries, attacking bridges and dams and things like that, and really shutting down America through our infrastructure.
You can feed the child.
You want to let me hold the puppy? You have a toddler.
You have a job.
No, you can't be on camera. We have a toddler running around, not ours. Emily's babysitting tonight. So, here, put the puppy in the kennel. Sorry, life happens. Oh, you want me to hold the puppy? I'll hold that puppers. We'll get some clickbait out of her. Oh yeah, he hates it. Yeah, can't stand it. Don't raspberry the dog. That's just weird. Anyways, we were talking about the borrowed world.
The borrowed world.
Borrowed world.
Do they have a corgi?
I don't think there's a corgi in the borrowed world.
There should be.
Sorry, my daughter's being especially loud.
So, Anyway,
Can we kill the children? Okay.
we split their gear.
Oh, good Lord. I'm waiting for her to shut up.
So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Doc and Little Joe, hi, Raven.
We're using code names. That's Squishy. She's like, I want to be on TV.
Okay, so back to focusing on the issue. You have a baby. You have a job. Bye.
Go watch your cartoons, Rick. Hey, Squishy. Squishy, go. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Life, it happens. It's okay. Yeah,
So-
y'all don't mind. Y'all don't mind, right?
Yeah, they mind.
We lost viewers. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. It's all Emily's fault.
So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Doc and Little Joe were discussing how the events go down as the cellular structure, the big T. And I mean, I am going to try to, sit down and, send Mr. Horton a few questions. Like, does he mean for this to take place in the exact same world, in the exact same universe?
Is it the exact same attack?
Is it the same attack? Is it the same event? Because it is structurally similar.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get into Locker 9. We'll get into Locker 9 because it is one of your favorites.
Whales forever. Nice. Welcome. Welcome, Tony John. Good to see you.
Part Welsh. Does that count?
Fitness for the Average Joe, Gen 2. Welcome.
We
John
did. And yeah.
let me tell you something, John. It blew my mind. I mean, seriously. All right, we're gonna deviate
a little bit talking about the PJ.
I mean, when that came across my stream, my info feed, I
his eyes bugged out.
And I had to go and watch
it. Guess what?
Well, it's pretty big to know that we are making an impression. I respect that man a lot on more than just a YouTuber level. I've had the wonderful opportunity to spend several afternoons in his presence.
Just chatting and talking. I did. I said we went to that prepper fair not too long ago, and it was too funny though because he had his little camera in his pocket and he was just kind of filming, walking around, and we got to talking, and I just went rambling like I usually do. And he goes, "Wait a minute, this is good stuff." And I wasn't even thinking about it being on video. I was just talking to another prepper, and I find it fascinating. He's got an immense amount of knowledge, but I love talking about it. I love talking with others about it. And so the prepper fair was a good way to do that. And we've met him on other occasions as well. But Pastor Joe Fox, thank you, sir.
I mean, at one of the meet and greets, I got to sit at the table behind him, and I was eavesdropping on his conversations. And at one point, I broke out the iPad and I started taking notes.
Well, we've been to one of his classes as well, which
Yeah.
was extremely informative on how to secure a homestead. And yeah, we were taking notes like crazy. And I said, just an absolute wealth of knowledge that I'm glad we get to be semi-associated with, at least running the same circles. And it's really cool. But anyways, Borrowed World. The whole premise that Franklin Horton went to was from his own experience from having to travel for work a lot.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting. I don't know if any of y'all have to travel long distance for work. The main character, Jim, in the book has travel as a part of a government agency for mental health.
Yeah.
And he has to travel quite a long distance. It's still in his state because he's a state agency. But travels good 200, 300 miles from his home on these excursions for state business and conferences and things like that. They're all the way in Richmond, Virginia, and he's got to get all the way on the other side of the state, 200 miles away to get back home. And Franklin Horton took that from his own personal experiences. of having to travel for work a lot. And so his mind went, what if, like we all do, have to play that what if game, I'm traveling these long distances and something happens. And it's really interesting. And what I found more interesting is talking to his friend who goes on the trips with him as a part of the agency as well, is another prepper. And so they're able to coordinate kind of almost as a mag would, helping each other out, getting together with gear, having similar things in their packs, knowing that the other person is prepared. But they travel in a group of, what was it? It was 3 ladies.
I
And
believe
then the
so.
2 men, Jim and his friend. And it was interesting because
There was Gary, who was the prepper, and I want to say there was another guy named Randy, because Randy went with the women.
okay, so there was 6
when they
altogether.
split.
So 3 women and 3 men.
Yeah, they were traveling in 2 cars. And keeping in mind this is a government agency, these are government employees in state vehicles. Raise your hands if you know what you're not supposed to be carrying when you are at work for the state.
And guess how much we care if we were.
I believe Jim's.
Are we not getting any comments? Because I'm not seeing any. Could y'all post right quick and see? Okay.
We're getting networking across the country is so important. Self-reliant travel. Yes, Sheepdog, it is.
Yes. And I actually found that that's part of later on in the book is him coming across people that he had made contacts with across the state. Just for as much as he did travel, he is a well-prepared person. And we got a lot of, hey, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. The biggest thing was because he is a prepper and it is pretty well prepared for this trip.
Yeah.
Because he makes it so often. And it's something he's been worried about.
Not much talking right now.
I know everybody's just listening, hopefully, and everybody's enjoying us talking about it.
As long as you didn't read the clock.
Okay. So,
it's fine.
The prepper in the book, because he makes these trips across the state, his biggest thing is, do I have a way back? So he is constantly making maps to the different places with different routes to get back home. He says, well, if I'm going to Richmond, then this route, and this route is how I'm going to get home. If I'm going to this part of the state, this out, and he maps out all of his routes before he goes, which I think is great. All of us talk about bug outs, but how many people have actually sat down with a map and gone over which route we were going to take and have alternative routes if for some reason you can't go that one way. We have, and we've mapped out a few different ones that we plan on taking. But, one thing that we don't think about is when we go to, say, visit my parents all the way down in Little Rock and say, I haven't personally mapped that out. We have an idea of which way to go.
Well, first we hit the National Guard Armory.
YouTube, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean to.
And say hi to our friends. Ask if we can borrow.
But I found it interesting to have such a well-prepared person, 2 well-prepared people, working together and trying to convey the severity of the situation to their companions who were not preppers. That dynamic was interesting because Jim, the main character, is a very blunt, outspoken person. He tell you like it is, and that for some people makes him kind of an a-hole. And so, excuse my language, but he makes them unlikable. And so he has his friend Gary,
his interpreter.
Yeah. He actually calls him that in a lot of things. What Jim meant to say was, you're not all going to die necessarily, but
you might starve to death slowly.
He wants to help. But it was interesting to see those two trying to, you've got this very blunt, outspoken person, and then, like you said, his translator trying to calm things down for the non-preppers in the group.
And the way it's presented, Jim has a lady in his work group who is the minister's wife, the quintessential talk about you behind your back person.
But get on to you for gossiping. Gossiping's against the Lord's law.
And
But did you hear about what Jennifer said the other
And I believe he calls her a witch with a capital B and doesn't like her, and he'll call her, well, I really wish she wasn't here. Now, don't say that she's a sweet old woman. No, she's not. Yes, she is.
She's somebody's grandma. Yeah, Satan's. I mean, it's a lot of good humor in the book too. And so that's really I found it really nice in his writing style to offset the the chaos that's going around the people.
On a technical level, in order to write tragedy, you must have comedy to offset
even dark comedy. Yeah.
And Horton really does balance it well.
I mean, he doesn't laugh off the tense situations.
I mean, he goes dark.
Yeah.
He goes very dark. I mean, early on in the book, they figure out what's going on, and Jim wakes up his friend Randy, knocks on his door. Hey man, I think it's happened. And Randy's still asleep. He's like, what's happened?
The Schumers hit the fan.
And I'm getting AM broadcasts on my iPod. This is all I'm getting. And they're predicting cascade failures, and he even tries to call his wife, and he ends up having to text.
And that was another good point of the when the towers weren't allowing people to call out. Sometimes a text message will go through easier than a call, and that's a good bit of information if you're trying to get in contact with your family. Say it is something like an attack where it's not necessarily EMP, you still have your cell phone, but everybody's calling. Emergency services are tied up. Everything's tying up the cell phone grids. That sometimes a text message, it doesn't take up as much bandwidth, I guess, in a sense. It doesn't take as much to send a text message as it is to make a phone call connection. And so it is easier for him to send a text message to his wife, letting her, okay, this is what's going on. This is the information you have. This is where I'm at right now. Headed your way.
Well, I remember when I used to run up to the cabin using Highway 23. There is that whole section from about halfway once you cross the interstate up to the Northern Highway, that Huntsville town. There's various sporadic cell signal, but what I would do, it would be I'd pull over, I'd type you a text message, and I'd hit send, and then I'd hit the road. And periodically I get 1 or 2 bars of signal.
Just enough to
and after a while, it would say, okay, it's been sent. And I would know that you knew where I was, but I might not get your response, or, 30 miles down the road. Oh, hey, Kim responded.
And like I said, and it's a lot easier in those kind of situations instead of tying up the cell phone lines. Like everybody's trying to make a call. Everybody's trying to get a hold of the family. Everybody's trying to call 911 even. And so sending out a text message, I thought was a really good, hey, heads up, it's a lot easier to do it this way than that way in that kind of situation. And that could be the same thing with a local disaster where, like I said, it could be a tornado is hit and one of the towers is down and you're just not able to get a full signal with your cell phone to actually be able to call. Try a text message, being able to call for help, not necessarily call for help because 911 doesn't take text messages, but
you can get it out to, someone who,
let them know you're okay and this is where I'm going to be at, and that sort of thing.
Well, and you could get a hold of Mr. Bob, and Mr. Bob could get on the ham radio, and Mr. Bob could get in touch with someone who is in my general area and put the word out that I need help. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something, small little tidbits of information that are kind of threaded throughout the narrative very well.
Yes. I mean,
you can pick up oh, that's a good idea, and kind of write that, put it in the back of your mind that, hey, I read this one time. I mean,
it's very much an interesting instruction manual.
And it doesn't come off like other books that I've read in similar in this genre. It can kind of like take a couple of chapters and read like an instruction manual. This is what you got to do. This is, step 1, step 2, step 3. And he doesn't write like that. He weaves the information throughout the story.
And he lets his characters mess up. Well, very, very early on, they decide to leave the hotel. They get into their state cars. And did you fill up the cars last night?
I was supposed to, but were kind of tired. Yeah, they forget to fill up the cars before they went to bed that night. So they only had a quarter of a tank of gas.
If that. And when they stop at a gas station, things go south quick.
Yeah.
Cops show up. You can no longer sell gas. You guys are done. And the next thing you know, someone shoots at a cop. The cops fire back. You have a riot. And one of the member of their party is shot in the head and drops right there. I mean, Horton does not
pull any punches
or tiptoe around things.
And I found that really interesting. And I don't know how realistic it is. Done via analog, not.
Yeah.
Thanks, Okie.
Thank you, Okie.
But no, what was I going to say? I had a brain fart. Oh, about how quickly things escalated. The biggest thing was they're in this major city. They're in Richmond. So you're on a major highway. You're on a major city. And so trying to get something as simple as gas, there's cars backed up down the highways they're talking. Trying to get gas, because there's a run on gas, of course. Because like I said, the attacks were on oil refineries, and already with gasoline storage places where they store gasoline at. And so there's this run on gas where everybody's trying to get home because of all these, attacks across the country. And like you said, the government comes in and says, no more gas is going to be sold. These are for emergency vehicles only. Y'all, if you've already gotten gas, pay and then leave. The rest of y'all get out. And how quickly that escalated.
Yeah.
Was what I found interesting, because up until that point, people were kind of nervous and people were kind of panicky in the sense of, oh crap, I hope they don't run out of gas before my turn.
Yeah.
And now it's, you're stuck. Hello, Perfect in Progress, both of you and people of the side chat. Hello, creative
redundancy. Welcome.
But that's one thing I was interested in, is how quickly that escalated. Because we're talking day one. It's not like where some people will say, well, 3 days, people are going to start rioting and, or whatever, or at nighttime or whatever it may be. It's almost immediately they get on the road and they start running out of gas, and it's, the government's kind of taken over. No more gas is being sold. And there's like an immediate pushback. And I'm not, I don't know. One side of me wants to say, no, we're not like that as Americans. We kind of pull through, but we're talking a major city. And so I don't know if that's, I don't know. A part of me says, yeah, people go crazy and you tell them they can't have something, they're going to go crazy and want it. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
I'm going to argue.
We'll do CR.
I'm going to argue with you.
Okay. I'm kind of, I don't know. What do y'all think?
First of all, you need to understand that I'm a little bit older than Miss Kim. Okay, Captain Barth, that's exactly where I'm going. I was 48 miles away from my home on 9/11.
Like I'm like 18. God.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I get to be 21 again.
Allow me to remind you that in Nigeria, where I grew up, a woman never gets above the age of 18.
Okay. You're right, Tony. I give you that one. Given the right circumstances. Yeah.
But on 9/11, I was 48 miles north of my home. Thankfully, I had a full tank of gas.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were all released to leave school and return to our fire stations, and that was about 3 seconds after all of our pagers went off, heading out of Omaha, Nebraska, every gas station,
Friday tank.
pretty much every gas station on either side of the interstate on I-80 was jam packed.
See, I remember the 9/11 thing. I mean, I was in Little Rock. because I was living but I wasn't in downtown Little Rock. We lived on the kind of the outskirts of Little Rock. We were still in Little Rock, but we weren't in downtown or anything. And so we had just a small gas station. And I remember, because I was in high school during 9/11. I was a senior in high school. Oh, shush, I was a senior. Good Lord, I wasn't like I was a freshman. I was a senior in high school, and I give you an idea of how old I am. I very clearly remember 9/11.
Just for men's, like,
I've got those too. I don't want to hear about
arriving soon.
But no, I do remember we had to walk from school because we could not get gas. We had, like to fill up our cars to leave the school. Because we got let out early as well. And we had to walk because the traffic was all backed up trying to get at the gas stations. I do remember that, but I don't remember. Now, okay, I guess if the government would have come down and said, none of y'all can have gas. I mean, that would have been a firecracker popping, I guess.
That would have been a match in a gas station, literally. I mean, like, hey, Bruce, I just saw a 60-gallon fuel tank in my truck today. That gives me 96 gallons of diesel.
Nice.
I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, exactly, tank. Wow.
But if you look what Oki's saying, back on 9/11, there was a major run on gas in Oklahoma City. Majority of stations were charging $12 per gallon, and they sold out.
Yeah.
Now you turn that around, and someone walks in and says, "No,
you're not allowed to have it anymore."
And to me, it's going bad. In 07, they ran dry. So
and I guess I can get that. With people's tensions are already high, they're worried about how they're going to get home, and then someone tells you can't buy gas. I mean, tell me how y'all would react if we're talking a major event has happened. You're trying to get gas to get home. You're 200 miles away from home. You have no gas left, and you're in line. You're getting ready to get, your turn, and here comes the state troopers coming and says, shut it down. You're not allowed to sell to the public anymore. This gas is for emergency vehicles only. Y'all can just go.
Yeah.
I guess I can't understand how quickly people, because they're already at it. They're already here. That tension's already roiling under the surface. I'm pretty sure people are honking at each other. Curse words have already been said, all this kind of stuff. And so tensions are probably already at the boiling point. And then for someone to come in and say, hit the road. Yeah, I can see how that can, because all it takes is one, right? It only takes one person to make a stupid mistake.
Yeah, just for the holiday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, and that's nothing is think you're out of state people who are waiting in line because they've got to go so far, say across country to get back home. But I'm just saying I found it very interesting that he put that in there. That's so quickly, and because we've talked about how quickly things would deteriorate in an event situation. And there's been a lot of talk, well, you may have 24 hours, you may have a couple of days, depending on your situation and your location.
And this was within the first 12 hours.
6, honestly, because it was right after they really got up and got moving.
So, that's the first.
Yeah, things would escalate fast if that would happen. I can see that.
So that's the first major event. And so they just get on the road and keep going.
Until the gas runs out, yeah.
And they end up coming across as they're hiking, once the gas has run out, a man whose wife has just had surgery. She's having problems.
And this, another one that ticked me off, because a lot of people think that this is a good idea. We're talking, theirs is kind of in a hot day. The last book we did it was cold, and it was in wintertime. This one's kind of not really in the middle of summer, but it's pretty warm. And this elderly couple are waiting in the car. And that one just kind of blew my mind of going, how many people think that waiting in their car is a good idea?
Well, keep in mind, the old man really didn't seem to be was not described as being in the physical shape to physically assist his wife out of the vehicle.
Yeah. And so they kind of just waited there and was just kind of waiting.
Yeah.
He didn't really know what to do or where to go or who to help with. There was gas rationing all over state. That was from the storm. 7 people in the ghetto, my home, lost their.
Cool. After 3 days without power, gangs were robbing people for generators and food.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crap.
You know,
That's an SHTF right there.
You know, so our group manages to make it to a town, and then they get someone with a mule side by side to go back.
ATV, not like a mule, but
an ATV to go back for the old man and his wife. And by the time they get there, she has succumbed to the heat and the elements.
No, she hadn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
All right, when did she die?
They got her back to town.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, because they ran into the crackheads that tried to kill her for her drugs.
She don't need her drugs because she's dead.
No, she's not. They get her back to town.
And
I'll bet you over it. I'll get Franklin Horton to confirm with me.
She dead.
No, because she cut her neck and the nurse patched her back up.
Maybe.
He's just arguing for the sake of arguing now. I know this book.
All right.
Okay. I'm right. So get back to that. Is where they're trying to load up the elderly lady onto the mule to get her and her husband back into town. She's not dead. She's not dead. Someone did read.
I'll be honest. I read it. I enjoyed it, but my focus was later on in the book.
And I like the little details leading up to how people are handling it right after, because that's my biggest problem, or should I say my biggest worry when it comes to event, is that immediate reaction from people. Because that's what you're going to be most, because you're dealing with, if you're dealing with a bug out situation or a bug in situation, that immediate reaction from people. And so I like studying that immediate reaction. Are you Googling it? He's going to Google to make sure I'm right. I know I'm right because I can tell you all the story. Okay. They're loading up the elderly lady who just had surgery with her husband on the mule to get them back into town, because the town actually has doctors and things like that to help them out. They have shut down the town from anybody else coming in, but they said they would let them in for a medical emergency. So they get her loaded up and they come across this couple who are sketchy AF. Okay. I don't mean to cuss too much, but sketchy. I mean, like twitchy. And they're like, our car ran out of gas. Can you give us a ride?
They're on their way to the methadone clinic for her treatment.
She's like, I'm trying to kick the habit. And then she hears, well, we can't right now. We've got to take this elderly lady. You know, she just had surgery. Really? What they give her? And she loses her mind, pulls out a knife, holds it to the old lady's throat, threatens to slit her throat in order to get drugs. Without hesitation, one of the other guys blows the chick's head off. And of course, the guy completely freaks out. You killed my girlfriend. But I was just like, holy crud. You kind of forget about that kind of dregs of society. We always talk about good people kind of turning bad. You know, quit trying to look up for spoilers on there. I'm right.
No, because the old man was devastated when they got back.
No.
On the ATV.
No.
Okay.
No, he wasn't. The crackhead boyfriend was devastated that his girlfriend got shot in the head. Maybe that's who you're confusing this with. No. We have no sympathies for that one.
No.
But that kind of dregs of society that kind of...
The cockroaches come out.
Come out quickly. And like I said, this couple was headed towards the methadone clinic when they were stopped. Yeah. But what I wanted to get to is the meat, you know, not all the little details leading up to it. Though I do like the beginning to see how quickly things start breaking down societally. They stop at a hotel room. They managed to get a hotel room, which was overpriced to say the least. And there's no air conditioner, there's no toilets, there's no water, no nothing. And this is why we prep. Ain't that the truth? And that's why I was really glad to see these guys who were very well prepared. They had extra shoes in their car. They had their bug out bags. They were good to go. Their biggest concern is they had their coworkers still with them.
Yeah.
Now, when they stop at this hotel room, they have to make a decision. They hear from the local sheriff that there are buses traveling down the highway, picking people up and take them to FEMA shelters,
where they will try to get you on the road to closer to home.
They will try to get you as quickly to home as possible, but in the meantime, come to the shelter. And these main characters have to make a decision. Do we try to get home on our own, 200 miles away with limited gear that we have? Or do we get on this bus to try to make it a little bit faster? And I want to say, I want to ask, they are willing to drop you off at your exit if it is close.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of details being given out about the shelters. You will most likely have to give up any weapons getting on the government bus. What was the disaster in the book? Oh, it was multiple attacks. I don't want to say, okay, terrorist attacks. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It was multiple terrorist attacks attacking the infrastructure. Sorry, Tank was wanting to know what disaster this was. It was attacking the power grid, oil refineries, gasoline storage, dams, bridges. It was a coordinated attack across the United States, and it brought down the grid.
Multi-cell attack.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps, Tank. And I wanted to ask, would you get on the bus even temporarily? Or would you try to make your own way? And I know, because my prepper friends, we all think pretty much the same. I'm not getting on a bus. You go ahead and tell me I'm not getting on the bus.
I have a big thing against cattle cars and where they end up.
The sheeple.
Where the train ends up when you get in the cattle car. So no.
Well, to me, the biggest thing is I'm putting my well-being and my safety in somebody else's hands. I'd much rather go out on my own and die on my own than...
You're right, Sonia. I hear you.
Well, like I said, it's definitely a FEMA transportation, and they're pretty much FEMA camps. And it's bottom line.
Alaska Dream Life. Good to see you.
Hey, Alaska. Exactly. And that's going to be the big thing is, they're going to demand things of you that you're not going to agree with, like giving up your firearms. That's going to be a big one for me because...
Well, I don't have any anymore after my boating accident.
I understand, but here's another thing.
But Alaska Dream Life is working on my chainsaw, man. It's still my favorite video.
Okay, Tank. It would be hard not to if there was some type of chemical or poison. All depends on the info. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. To me, it's one of those hard decisions.
You talk to them. I've got to take care of something.
You got to go water a tree.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but
Steve's got to go water the bushes. He got mad at me over that one. All right, that was just our secret. Don't worry about it. But yeah, if they say get on the bus or not get on the bus, do you make your own way, or do you put, do you trust that they're going to keep their word, that they're going to drop you off closer to home? If they say, well, we'll let you off at your exit, is there any guarantee that they're going to keep their word? They talk about in the book, you're less of a problem once you're in that camp. They're not going to worry about you. You're going to be a low priority once you are in that camp. And I thought about that. I'm like, you're right. They say they're going to be more concerned. The higher priority is going to be the people out running around, running amok. You're safely put away. You're not going to be a big concern for them anymore, trying to get you home. You are not top priority anymore. I'll remember that part. Not going to a FEMA camp, Tony. Keep Bob in the truck. Exactly. not moving to Virginia. But yeah, but for some people who not necessarily like-minded, I see a lot of people getting on the bus, and that's worrisome. Just because we have seen how the government treats people once they are kind of locked away in somewhere safe. What if they say there are hot zones or chemically dangerous spots? Again, it's all up to you, but I'd much rather take my own safety, and I guess I'm fiercely independent. I don't know about you. What if they're saying there's hot zones or chemically dangerous spots?
We live under that threat
Mm-hmm.
where we're at. We have a nuclear reactor within the state that would blow a cloud between us and our bug out location.
Yeah.
And we have made the choice based upon the timing of the event to make the run through the potential cloud area, because there's no guarantee that the cloud's going to be there. There's no guarantee of the speed of the wind. I mean, this is Arkansas. If I go outside and spit right now, we may have snow tomorrow.
Well, I hear you, Sonia. As I'd hate to be put in the position. I mean, think about if you have your children.
NWA prepper.
And I'm like you. I think the majority of people would get on the bus, and I can't necessarily fault people for that decision either.
Too much coffee, Badger. The tree just died.
But yeah, if I say, I can't fault people for getting on the bus. Because in the book, half of their group gets on those buses, and half of them, the two preppers and one of the ladies who is good old country girl who do nothing, would rather take it into their own hands. Just that fiercely independent streak of I'd much rather die trying on my own terms than leaving my fate in somebody else's hands.
I think that's a big part of it. And he keeps, going back to the teachings of his grandfather as well. I won't say it on here, but it's pretty much hardened it up.
Harden up. We'll just leave it at that. Harden up.
And, you're dealing with, what we call rugged individuals.
I know, Tank, there's lots of other hot spots. I lived close to a certain place in Pine Bluff. That was definitely a hot spot.
Yeah.
And so
but even the Pine Bluff place, the way the wind patterns are, does try to edge right.
Oh, honey, it's not about wind patterns at the Pine Bluff Arsenal.
Yeah.
I plan, prepare, and that's what I spend. What if I sprain my ankle? Good thinking, exercise. Yeah, like I said, my biggest thing is, do I have my children with me?
I hope so.
I don't know. I said, it's kind of all of those things. That's why I say I can't fault somebody for getting on the bus. I can't fault somebody for not being sure in their own capabilities, because that's, to me, also practical and realistic. If you do not have the skills, resources, or ability to go and try to make it on your own, would you fault somebody for getting on the bus?
I'm trying to figure out how to put this as delicately as possible. I'm a libertarian. I believe you should be able to snort a line while walking down Main Street with a fully automatic weapon, and at the moment, and be fine right up until the moment where you threaten someone else. You choose to get on the bus, it's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would not feel comfortable putting my fate in someone else's hands totally and completely, and taking myself from
Small Town Homestead. Welcome from Canada. Sorry, I just wanted to say hey.
Hey, bud. From sheepdog to sheep. Now, having said that, that is my choice. And if that is your choice to get on the bus, I can't fault you because you are utilizing the same, let's say it, God-given right affirmed in the Constitution that I have.
I hear you, NWA, to say that is extremely true. Many will just follow because they see a badge and, you know, a name and a uniform. And a lot of people will just kind of go along with what that authority figure says. I mean, we've been trained up since children to do what the authority, listen to the authority figures, listen to them. And it's being as independent as many preppers are.
Hey, Dill.
It kind of goes against the grain. And that's why we're kind of seen as kind of outsiders to the system, because we don't go along with that. Just do what you're told, just move along. And it throws a lot of people off. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Okay.
Nice.
But anyways, moving on from the bus, the guys in our story choose not to get on the bus.
No, 3 out of the group choose not to.
Like I said, half of the group get on the bus, and we never really.
Yeah, two out of 5 because one's already.
Oh yeah,
dead.
I forgot. Yeah, two. Yeah, the two ladies.
Yeah,
the 2 ladies that are left. So there wasn't 3 guys. There was 4 women and 2 men.
Yeah.
The 2 ladies that are left decide to get on the bus, mainly because they have no supplies. They have no gear. They are 200 miles from home. They don't know what to do. So they would find it easier to go to one of these camps. And the guys try to warn them, but they've made up their mind. You know, like, nope, they've got stuff already set up. We're heading there. They'll get us home. We're trusting in that. Like, okay. And we never really hear from them again. Once they split their ways, we don't really ever hear if there's a horror story. They got home. We don't know. We follow our main characters. And they do something I think is really, really cool. Oh, there's not a given.
Talk about being thrown under the bus brings a new meaning to the situation. Yeah.
But there was something really cool that the story, a direction the story took that I found super interesting. Is the group decides, since the roads and the towns are pretty going to crap already, that they decide to hit the Appalachian Trail.
Because it parallels the route they're taking.
The main guy, Jim, has done portions of this trail many, many times and knows he can backpack it, knows the lingo, knows the layout, know that there's different shelters along the trail that they can utilize, and know about how long it is on the trail to get pretty close to home. And because he's done this, he kind of makes the decision to go ahead and get on the trail. And I just think that was such a really cool decision that the author took, is to take them on the Appalachian Trail as part of their bug out or their get home scenario.
And that's something that we have discussed, except that all of our trails go east-west and we need to go north-south.
Yeah, we've talked about that. And I'm like, man, I really like to look at trail maps, and I have. And I really are. The biggest trail here in Arkansas would be the Ouachita Trail that I know of. There's probably more than that. But it goes from pretty close to the Oklahoma border, over the Oklahoma border. I don't know which one it starts, before or after it, all the way to Little Rock. That'd be great if I was heading to Little Rock or from Little Rock this way. So if anybody's heading from Little Rock towards east, check the Appalachian, or not the Appalachian, the Ouachita Trail, because it's a pretty well-used trail.
Yeah.
But isolated in the same way as the Appalachian Trail is. It crosses some highways and things like that, but most of it's kind of backcountry highways that you have to just cross over and then keep going up the trail.
Yeah, in fact, I was taking some pictures last Sunday for a guy, and we ended up on the Ouachita Trail in one of their shelters, and it was pretty nice. I'm going to tell you.
A lot of those big trails that people do long distance hiking on, they are well done trails. You've got people who volunteer their time to keep the trails nice and cleared out. And it's not going to be heavy foot traffic. And they are used to people going long distance. Like you said, they do have shelters, campsites, and things like that along with them. Butterfield Trail
Have to look at it.
I don't know.
NWA, I haven't heard of Butterfield Trail, so
You have to send us a link on that one, if you don't mind. Couldn't stay longer, Pip. Enjoyed the chat about the situation. Something to consider as it comes.
take care. You two create a redundancy.
She said call her CR. So
CR.
bye, CR.
Bye.
Have a good night, hon. But I don't know why I said her. I don't know if she said you were the male, female, him, her. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what I said her. I totally just probably misgendered somebody.
You know what? In this circle, I'm pretty sure we're all hardened up enough that we don't mind.
Them, they.
I am a spotted, fluffy unicorn, I'll have you know.
Okay. Bye. But I don't know. I really like the idea of not necessarily bushwhacking it all the way up to your bug out location. That is hard going.
Yeah.
Trying to trailblaze your way. But a well managed trail is a totally different story. That is a totally different animal. It's almost like a highway for hikers.
And Tony John, that's what we're coming to.
And they do on this trip run into that in the book. People kind of attacking backpackers for their supplies. There's a group of people on ATVs, which you're not supposed to run ATVs on the trails. But these guys are running up and down. They're kind of, you can tell, and that's what tips off the guys. They're really observant. And I was really cool. Is he doesn't tip off that he knows that they're bad guys because he tries to play it off because there's 4 of them and just 2 of these guys. And so they're kind of like, what are you doing out here? And, you know, he tries to play it off and plays it cool. But after the bad guys on the ATVs leave, he kind of makes the observation that, did you see the guns that they had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of cheap. They were really cheap, kind of one shot, kind of break over.
Sketchy hillbilly guns.
Yeah. You know, bird guns, something not expensive, maybe a couple $100 worth of guns.
Yeah.
The ATVs, not super great quality ATVs, just kind of run of the mill, not much to it. But because he is a backpacker, he said, did you see his backpack? And it's some name brand. And he said, did you ever price one of those? They're like, yeah, they're like $500. Did you see the bedroll he had? Yeah, those are like $300 bed. And he said they're naming off these high dollar expensive things that they have on their ATVs.
That they're worth more than the ATV.
Yeah. The ATV, the gun, the guy, all that combined, the gear that he has is worth way more than that. And it tips him off. These guys are probably killing hikers.
Well, and we're kind of, I want to jump back in the book for a minute. They hook up with a couple of college kids, guy and his girlfriend, who are hiking through. And one, they can't believe that, you know, what's happened. They don't really believe they're being told the truth. And then when they see the gun that Jim is carrying and the gun that Randy is carrying, oh, we don't believe in that.
Super offended liberals go absolutely crazy.
Which leads them to...
Don't forget the feathered hat for driving the Pitmobile.
Yeah.
The Pitmobile.
Which they end up defending themselves against
my
an
cane
attack.
and my fuzzy jacket. I needed.
You know, when they link up for a little bit, when they make camp for the night, our group sleeps away from their tents. They're just a little. They've seen the ATVs. They've seen all that Miss Kim was describing. And when an attack comes, someone tries to cut their way into a tent. One of the attackers ends up feeding daisies.
Yeah, the other one gets away. But yeah, they do shoot one of the. Well, what gets them mad is they're taking watch duty. Like I said, they set up a fake camp over here, and then they sleep in a makeshift shelter over there. You need to get changed?
No, she just wanted it under her bag.
So,
Okay. Sorry, toddler again.
but
But yeah, I did like the idea of the fake camp that they set up, and then they slept over here. And another good thing is they had rotating watches. Somebody was supposed to have a watch for a couple of hours, and there's like I said, there's 5 of them, so they had plenty. Hi, baby girl.
I think
Don't put her on you. Don't.
I think this is a sign.
Okay. Do you need? I'm not your babysitter. That one there is. Go take it to her. Okay. Okay. You say bye, Squishy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
Okay.
I ain't no mother.
you're gonna go teach her.
I got to teach my daughter how
All
to
right,
change
I
a
got
diaper.
this.
You got this. Y'all wish me luck.
And this is why I'm not.
And we can't even guarantee that there's an actual mess to be taken care of.
All right, get that one.
But
Okay.
at this point, you know, your liberal college students are wigged out. They are wigged out over the situation. They're wigged out over our good guys with guns. They're wigged out over the bad guys with guns, and they want to split. So they do. You know, the next day they suggest you go your way, we'll go ours, and they head down to the highway. And our heroes, I don't want to call them heroes. I don't want to call them anti-heroes. Our main characters can see from where they are up on the trail. I'll come over down to the road, but it's too far for a pistol shot. And they see them get captured by the family members of these locals who they have, you know, exited one, but they can't get to them. And they see the college boy. Yes, Angelina. We're talking about The Borrowed World by Franklin Horton tonight. It's a once a month thing that we do. Although last month we got totally distracted, and this month everyone's being really quiet and just letting us ramble. So, well, come on, someone distract me with something obscure. Let's do this. You've got us for another hour, unless, you know, we decide to run away early. But yeah, this is just a once a month thing. I'm not even sure if she's given some thought to the book for next month, because I haven't started anything great. So, you know, they try to make the approach, they try to get in, but the college boy is killed by these people, and they try to save the girl, and they do manage it, but they have to close to a distance where their pistols are effective. And I'm not going to go into the details of this. We're going to get demonetized anyway. But what causes warts? NWA, I've told you to leave them horny toads alone. We only want frogs in the pot. But, you know, they have to close. They have to deal with this. And Horton doesn't shy away from writing this. Horton doesn't make it okay afterwards. The young lady who has just been threatened, beaten up, watched the love of her life die, is suffering severe PTSD, severe trauma. And Roxy, you're welcome to do it on audio or paper, either way. We sometimes use both, or even Kindle, and we'll flip back and forth depending on if I'm driving one day or if I'm able to sit down and read. As long as, you know, most everyone here hasn't even read the book yet. So, you know, there you go. But where I was going with this is, you know, Horton doesn't shy away from dealing with and throwing at you the consequences of major actions. And that's one of the things that I really appreciated about this book and many of his other ones. You know, they end up finding some part of civilization, and they end up leaving her with people who can cope with her problems and help her as they keep moving. And they have a goal for the end of the book. It's not just I'm going to get home by the end of the book. You know, they're headed toward a town where an old friend of Jim's is the nominal mayor and banjo playing barber. Which, by the way, Mr. Horton actually put a picture up recently of the actual location, and the man is real. The character is real, and the barber shop is real. And apparently, people have hunted down this location, and they will stop in and ask for pictures with him. So this is something that you have. Do I have to know how to read to be here? Am I being a big enough distraction? Okay, we're just gonna stop the live stream right here, and we're gonna talk about warts. Who here has warts? Does NWA Prepper have warts? Where are your warts, NWA Prepper? How big are they? And what we really want to know is, how long has this problem been going on? Have you put an aspirin on it? I'm also going to tell NWA Prepper, Missa be bombard medic.
You're an idiot. Hey, Squishy. Remember, we're supposed to use nicknames. That's the Squishy.
That's the Squishy.
That's the Squishy. No.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. No pins for the Squishy.
There's a pill for that, NWA. Yes, there is. And yeah. USA no being enough distraction, Mr. NWA Prepper, so leave Kermit out of the pot. I kind of like it. Nice. How long has it been going on? How long have we known each other? Oh. Well, you know, if that's the case, you know, I've had this wart on my backside for quite some time, sir.
Hey, Squishy. Squishy, come here.
So I was just telling them how the girl, you know, after
here's an idea. What if you have one of these while trying to bug out?
Hope she can carry her own pack.
That's my niece. That's the Squishy.
No, I was telling them about the death.
No, I want to watch the prequels. Oh, the prequels of what?
Star Wars.
No, Okie.
We said
we don't speak of those. We don't speak of those.
Sorry, we got distracted.
Come here.
We got distracted by Gungans, but no, I was telling them about the young man, the college boy, when he.
Ah, crap! She's back. I have to be good.
Yeah.
Watching you. No, you're not going outside, Chica. Come here.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, where we were discussing the death of the college boy,
and the girl,
the girl's PTSD and whatnot, because they do manage to rescue her,
but she just died
eventually. Yes.
Yeah.
Or don't they drop her off with some help?
Nope, she dies.
She dies? No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. Remember, the family of the dude that they kill catches up with them.
Yeah.
Okay. The family catches up with the two of them, the two liberals. They kill the boy.
Yes.
And they're trying to hurt the girl.
Yes.
But then Jim and his buddies, they come in and kill everybody.
Yes.
Right? But the one guy gets away.
Yeah.
The original guy on the ATV.
Yeah.
Gets away. right?
Yeah.
So he ambushes, remember the barbed wire?
That's right.
They
They were trying to get her to the place, but they didn't pull it off.
Because they took the ATVs. The guy had strung up
That's right.
barbed wire across the trail.
Sorry, guys, I forgot.
And he said, just by the power of, he went, look, the barbed wire got here underneath his arm, dislocated his arm, and threw him off his ATV. But that guy ended up shooting his friend, the other guy, but luckily for him, he had body armor.
Yeah.
But then he shot the liberal girl in the head, killed her instantly. And then he was going to kill the other girl of their group when the guy finally got enough. And he brings up this, which I thought was another thing really interesting. He said he drilled like crazy with his sidearm.
Yeah.
Drilled like crazy with his sidearm. But because he was on the ATV trail and he was pointing with this arm and the barbed wire dislocated this arm, he had to reach for his gun with his off hand.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there in his head going, why did I never drill drawing with my other hand? Because he finds it extremely awkward to cross draw in a holster that is not meant for cross draw. And that was one thing I was going to bring up. Is it something that I definitely want to bring to try out, practicing unloaded the first couple of times and trying to draw offhanded. Say if this arm is injured and I can't draw with this arm. Like I said, his was completely dislocated from the fall.
That and some shooting instructors will tell you to practice shooting twice as much with your offhand as your
shooting with your offhand.
But drawing.
He had to try to draw from his holster quietly while the guy is distracted. To try to draw with his offhand and shoot the guy with his left hand. And he laments never training that way at the field because it never crossed his mind that he would have had to draw with his opposite hand. And I found that super interesting. Something that I personally have never practiced either. But it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, it's something definitely to try out. I don't know. How many of you guys, if y'all go to the range, I know NWA, you go practicing quite a bit. And I'd love to that instructor that you hooked us up with was absolutely wonderful. We took a tactical firearms class. Just a simple introductory one, but was excellent. I loved it. But it's something I don't know if they practice or if any of them train that way. Inside the waistband holster for your opposite side is easiest for cross draw for myself. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it's something that the guy in the book laments never practicing to draw. And so he's just trying to reach around quietly while this guy's distracted. And he knows he doesn't have much time because he thinks he doesn't know his buddy has body armor.
Yeah.
He thinks 2 down, 1 to go. I've got to get my stuff together to get this guy taken down. So he's got a dislocated shoulder. He's knocked kind of winded and he's trying to quietly grab for his gun with his offhand. And it's an awkward position to be in. And I got me thinking, I'm like, yeah, I've never practiced cross drawing with my holster. And that's definitely something I have got to practice. I practice shooting offhanded. We did that at the arms training. But cross drawing in my holster, I've never have.
With my push button holster, I don't know how I would. Yeah. I'd have to, somehow use
I was just thinking about your push button
pinky or while lifting it out.
Hi, Chica. He might need to go outside. His last time that she's been outside. Come here while she takes the puppy out. Okay.
Roxy, come here.
You're gonna change the channel on Johnny? That'd be hilarious.
Brian, did you get to the chance to read the book? Because I have my brain has flip-flopped 2 books already, and I'm telling them that the one girl was actually made it and dropped off, and she wasn't, and she died. Kim goes like, no, she died.
She died.
But they did deal with the PTSD, and whatnot.
Yeah, putting the kid out. Yeah, we're getting her leash on right now. Give her a minute. Okay. It's the puppy barking at her.
Yes, we're putting the kid out. The dog can stay.
Matthew.
Hey, Matthew, how's it going? Nice shirts, by the way.
But yeah, if it's and I guess it kind of wraps up after that. They make it to the one town.
Where the friend is.
Where the friend is. And that's cool. Kind of where, and like I said, it continues on in the next books in the series. But I love how those interesting little tidbits, like the cross draw, like the cell phone, things like that are woven throughout the story. Horton does an excellent job of giving information without it being a lecture.
Yeah.
That is the practical application of what he's trying to tell you to prepare for. It's show, don't tell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's showing you what he wants you to do, not telling you what to do. And I find that right. And so I think everybody out here, I give this one a 5 out of 5. I mean, 10 out of 10, whatever you want. 5 nuclear blast out of 5, whatever metric that you want to use. Hey, Squishy, come here.
Come on.
Horton's a great author.
Emily, pick her up.
Breathe in. Go sit down.
Squishy, come here.
So anyway, I give Horton all of the stars, all of the bombs.
1 second.
Is it frustrating you? Come here. Come here. It's cold out there. You can't go back there. She's got to take the puppy.
Our daughter has a new puppy and is supposed to be babysitting for a job. Not sure which one is actually getting the attention. No.
She had to take the puppy to go pee. You say hi? You can say hi?
Horton,
You say
how
hi?
do I put this?
You say hi?
Of all of the authors that I've
We
read,
stunned her into silence.
I appreciate Horton. I appreciate his realism. One of the other ones I really enjoy is A American and the Going Home series. They're similar in
Okay.
many
We're gonna
aspects.
peek out.
They're similar in the
thirsty?
idea of
Want something to drink?
going, making your way home, getting back to your
Want something to
family.
drink?
I'm going to jump back to something earlier in the book. When Ellen, Jim's wife, realizes what's going on, and Jim manages to get in contact with her, she goes to the closet or downstairs in his, man cave, and she opens up the folder he has, and the folder has different tabs: situation normal, situation critical, and bug out. And she goes to situation critical, and she begins to do what he tells her to do. She begins to fill up the car. She begins to pull cash out. She begins to do all of these things, food buying, gets the kids to help her and to do what needs to be done around the house. And they're tired. They're frustrated. They don't want to. But Jim has left her with a well thought out list of instructions and ideas on things to get done. Yeah, Eagle Gap. Yes, I do too. I love that series. And these are things that well, Badger, yeah, that may be how we messed up with the children the first time around. From a husband's point of view, I am grateful that my wife is on board with prepping. I am grateful that she and I can read the same books, and she can come in and say, no, you're misremembering, because Put it this way: last year I read 370 books of the year. I set a goal for 365, one per day. This year I've kept it down to 130, but I'm still getting things mixed up because I read so much and I read so quickly. I don't need to leave, where I was going with this, I don't need to leave my wife a folder with the instructions on how to and the instructions on where to go. And I believe the word was not misremembering or misremembering. I don't know. I like The Giver, excellent book and movie. Yes, that's true. But I don't have to leave these instruction manuals for my wife because she's already on board. She knows what needs to be done and she's got my back. This is something we look at from time to time. Our cabin is a 4-hour drive away. And we were talking earlier about the possibility of a fallout cloud or a gas cloud coming between this place and our cabin. What happens if I'm at the cabin? The word she used was wrong. Yeah. She uses that often with me, Tank. Yeah. But she's the one that's wrong. I love you. She's usually wrong. I'll give her this one. I'd forgotten that the lady died. But no, you have to be able to trust your partner. And I know that she would do what was right. I know that she would assess the situation and figure out how to try to get to the cabin if she needed to. NWA, here comes the one who's actually wrong all the time. She's been right twice in the last 2 weeks, and that was today.
I'm always right. I have a corgi. God damn it. That's super cute. Yep. I'm going to tell her. Tell me what, NWA? What? I don't know. It's in there. You want to see? You want to see? Or sip? I don't know which one she wants. I don't speak toddler. What? Go get something to drink. Life gets in the way.
So I was talking about Jim's book for his wife. The folder that she had to open that had.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And how I'm grateful that I don't have to have that for you, even though as husbands we should really consider it.
Yeah.
You're on board. You know the multiple routes to get to me.
I guess if you're making plans without your spouse, then definitely laying them out so that they understand what your plans were for certain things. Having the folder is a good idea.
Watch the TV show?
If you and your spouse are boom, lock and key, you know exactly what's going on. I think having a disaster plan written down, because things can get a little crazy.
Do your job.
You can forget about things. Angry toddler. I hope this scars her for life and she never wants to have kids. That's what we're going for. I told her, sugar this child up before you bring her over, the whole 9. We're going to fix this and we'll nip it in the bud. She'll never want to have kids after this. What breed of puppy? It's cute. It's a corgi. We just got it today. Do you speak corgi? Quit trying to eat that puppy.
It's original recipe Kung Pao chicken. Stop.
Did she upset you, Squishy? Oh, Squishy's upset. You say hi to people? You say hi? Say hi, people? See, but we're working with her mom and dad, trying to get them more prepared. But I tell you, my son's favorite breed would love to get one. I know. Right? Did you stop, you weirdo? Look at him. Look at him. He's being weird.
That's actually a wolf thing.
He's being weird. You say, huh? Look. You see?
Which one do you want?
Whoop. She goes, I want the puppy. Forget the toddler.
You're getting paid to take care of the toddler.
Oh, it's going to make you upset. Oh, sweetie baby. She's like, I'll take my puppy. Sleepy baby.
You know, Sonia, I've got a corgi and I'll make you a deal.
Look at that death stare that you're getting right now.
I'll tell you what. 250.
Now, here's a question. To say just completely off topic, just because we got the little one here and the cat's in the crib on the
Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you coming home, Dad? I don't know when, but we'll get together then, son.
Cat's in the kettle at the Pecking Moon, the place where I eat every day at noon. Holy crap. Okay, that's hilarious.
And I went somewhere else, like an old song.
Yes, corgis are an English breed. That's it's technically a Welsh corgi. But I don't think the Welsh would really like me too much if I called them English or British. Okay, you can go play.
Stop singing, Steve.
I know, right? No, can't mess with that. No. Go, where's your Santa Claus? Go get your Santa Claus. Okay,
Okay.
go get Santa Claus.
No, ma'am.
I'm that good. Uh-oh. No, that's not a toy. Well, ours is not kid-proof no more.
Badger. I got your tree fitty right here, Badger.
Tree fitty. But I don't know. Got me think we should probably no. Go get you.
It got you thinking about what?
She's gonna totally unplug
Chica.
this.
9.
You're such a mean uncle. Come here to Ray Ray. Oh, he upset a baby. Y'all see this? No, we're not English. Thank you. I told you the Welsh would not appreciate being called English.
I'm bloody Irish.
And I'm part Welsh and part Scotch and
That doesn't count.
part English and part German. I did one of those ancestry.com thingies and I'm all over the place.
So where were you about to go with this before we got totally distracted?
We get totally distracted. It happens. Here you go, baby. That's her Santa Claus. Little Christmas ornament I got her. Well, they can get her. I have it.
You know, Tony, I can't tell you where to find
Them fighting
a
words.
prepping woman. Just from
Who asked about a prepping woman?
you missed it.
Oh.
I hope I hope and
You
I pray
don't
that
have to be lonely.
I was actually trying to be serious.
Okay. Come here, Chica.
I hope and I pray that you can find someone. I would say look for someone with similar interests. Look for someone with an interest in prepping, period. I wouldn't say go to meet and greets with the intent to hunt and find a bride.
I was half joking about that farmers only thing because you get country people and they may not call it prepping, but they're preppers.
Yeah, this is true. We try to have a plan B, A, B, and C for when we are together for bug out or if we are separated. Trying to meet up for bug out. We each have the same goal. Say kids, safety
Oh, call
first.
Barry, get the name of his prepper dating app ideas.
You know,
We need a good jingle like farmers only.
preppersonly.com. No. Just add raisins for sweetness. There you go. You know, we have several locations along our routes where we can meet up.
Scheiße. Oh, is that because I said I was half German badger? No,
Yes,
we
yes,
came over.
she is.
We came over long before that happened.
You got so big.
I'm a Lauterbach.
You got so big.
But we never learned how to speak German, though.
There you go.
But the only thing I know how to say is Scheiße. That's that. You better not let her chew it up. Go
Put it
that.
back on my bedside table right now. Where I had it, I don't know where it came from.
Anywho. Oh, dating preppers. I guess because I wasn't a prepper when we got together.
You were a nice little country girl. Thank you.
And I think that's the difference is you don't really go in. Don't really go into it with the mindset. No, Steve was speaking German. 9.
Oh yeah, I told the baby 9. You're
That's
right.
something we started. Oh my goodness.
I use German with the dogs.
No, I tell you where it comes from, and he probably doesn't think because it's subconscious. He had a Dutch nanny growing up, and I think it sneaks in every now and then subconsciously. That's the reason why he does it when he trains the dogs and he yells at the kids because from when he was little, he had a Dutch nanny.
No, I didn't.
I thought she was from Dutch.
No, the kids who lived across the street
We're Dutch.
Their family was Dutch. So I was, from cradle till about 6 years old, I was bilingual.
Yeah.
I would speak Dutch with Jessica and her brother, and then I would go home and speak English. No, the nanny and the house girl,
they were all Nigerian.
Were Nigerian.
Okay. I knew it was one of them, but you grew up around the Dutch families.
No Escape. You want to talk about? Okay.
Watch the movie No Escape. You want to talk about a scenario? Okay. We're always looking for cool ideas. Definitely. Hey, let me know in the comments section right quick how my daughter is getting paid to babysit, but who's got the baby?
Well, she was offered $20 to give her 15.
I'm getting half.
Give her 15.
I already changed the diaper and everything.
There you go.
I love this squishy though.
Tony, I would.
You going? Yeah, go find Emily.
Take a look at. You don't have to go hungry with preppersonly.com. Sorry, my Roddy wants
to. You don't have to go hungry
nice.
with preppersonly.com. I love it.
Why, yes, NWA, I was bilingual. Actually, I used to speak multiple very well.
You did speak
some of you know this. My parents were Seventh-day Adventist missionaries to Nigeria, and they decided to get pregnant and have me and bring me back.
Most expensive souvenir.
Yes, I was the most expensive souvenir. But so I grew up overseas until I was 6. I am accepted into the Igbo tribe, and because of my stepbrother, I am considered a member of the Yoruba tribe as well. I, at the time, could speak the local dialects as well as Dutch. And since then, I used to speak semi-fluent Portuguese. But yes, I am a true African American. I hold dual citizenship because at the age of 20, the U.S. changed the law and said I did not have to renounce any citizenship, and I have not technically renounced it. So that's a little bit of my history and why sometimes I can be a little off the wall.
And I'm American.
So yeah.
Heinz 57, all American girl. Quite literally.
So good girl.
Thank you. Go find Emily. Tell her you want a drink. Okay. Tell me that's so cute, right? Okay. Emily's not that way.
And then she goes into the dining room
She wants her drink.
I know.
Okay.
toward the kitchen.
Come on.
I've been many places in England, Ireland, Scotland, one thing, and says most of them look down their noses at any American. Did you have that experience when you went to England?
When I lived overseas, the first
You're translingual.
3 to 5
That's a funny
days,
tank.
there was some snootiness. But after I picked up the accent, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't. No,
She keeps going for those lamps.
she's going for the oil lamps, the glass oil lamps.
We have these all over the house for hurricane lamps, whatever.
Decorative reasons. Yeah.
No.
The 600 gallons of lamp oil downstairs is nothing.
Good evening. Hatred in the dark. Times a little the. Okay.
Good evening, patron there. Like I was saying before I got totally distracted with children and people, the first 3 to 5 days, yeah, they were
Not receptive.
not, they were polite, but not friendly.
That's British.
As I would pick up the accent and pick one up that I could lock into, then they would accept me as someone with a bad accent, or who'd been all over and a little muddled. I would try definitely not to pick up the Cockney.
This little light of mine.
So,
Oki's singing up a storm.
once I had something nailed down, they were much more receptive. As long as it didn't sound French. If it sounded French, you were dead.
I just told everybody I was from Canada. Okay. I'm joking.
One time, I was at the Tower of London. I was bored. My dad was off doing something. And I just decided I'm going to go take a tour, have some fun. And a bunch of French kids were just being little.
Frenchman.
Tour guide stops the tour. And we're talking, these kids are maybe half a city block away being jerks. He yells something in French. I don't know what, but all of a sudden,
No, squishy.
3 guards come toward the kids. The kids scatter, and the situation is over. So, yeah, as long as you didn't have a French accent or didn't act like a little rear end, you were okay.
See, the only place I've been to overseas is when I went to Italy. And I don't know. Everybody I met was super friendly, except for people who weren't from Italy.
Yeah.
And the local people were great. Living in a tourist town, you're used to a certain amount of tourists coming through. So it was mostly the people who weren't from there who were rude. It was actually kind of funny. Our waiter was from, I want to say Poland, and immigrated to Italy. And so we're talking a guy whose original language was Polish, learned Italian, and then also learned English to interact with the tourists that come through.
Yeah.
So I thought he was neat. He really was. That's one of our favorite restaurants we went to for that week was his, because it was really neat. Because it was really cool because he wasn't from there. So, but he was really sweet because it's Polish. Polish people are nice. So.
He was the Polish Pole.
Yep. But
so we've given the book, 5 stars, 5 nuclear blast. We appreciate Franklin Horton immensely.
I really do recommend you guys read this book. There was lots of little tidbits of information that I thought were, like I said, it's not an instruction manual. But hearing it, how things are used in an actual scenario, to me, I learn better that way. I pick up on things easier when they are weaved throughout the story and not just lectured to me. And so I don't know if anybody else has it that way, but I sure did. And this was a really enjoyable read for me. I've enjoyed all of Franklin Horton's books, but this was the first one I got introduced to. And this what really kind of opened up my doors to his books. Yeah, I didn't read Walker and I read Borrowed World first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a book for next month?
Not yet. We haven't picked up. I don't know if we can con Franklin Horton. We'd come up here. We'd probably do Locker 9, but I would like to see if we could possibly get a few interview questions with Franklin Horton.
Okay.
Any recommendations, guys, on any books that are your absolute favorites, post-apocalyptic or just SHTF scenario type books that y'all would recommend?
Well, someone has already mentioned the 299 Days series.
Okay.
The first couple, I enjoyed immensely. We also have the Going Home series.
I like Going Home. A. American is an excellent author. I enjoyed the Going Home series. I did not enjoy 299. That's our differences opinion, and we can hash it out here. So y'all tell us, what do you think? Lisa Akers, did you ever?
Lisa Akers, she's the head of the DD12.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Believe it or not, I have three of Lisa Akers' books on my Kindle, and I haven't touched them yet. Her mama is gonna kill you for giving her Mountain Dew. You're sending the baby home wired.
It's okay, right? It's okay.
Walking in the Rain. Never heard of it. John, I agree with the Bible 100%.
No, that's mine. Where's your drink? Where's your drink?
It's not going to work, Ray.
It's in there. Go tell Emily. Tell her to go get your drink. So Emily.
Currently, I'm working on JT Sawyer's First Wave series.
I want to look up the Walking in the Rain. I've never heard of that, Sonia.
Wait, Walking in the Rain. Hold on.
Drink.
Just bring it in here so she can drink it off of it.
I have read it, Sonia. Yeah. I'm remembering it now. I know I read book 4, Dark Sky Thunder.
I'd be right back. Dog wants out. What kind of dog, Tony? We have a corgi.
He doesn't want out. He wants to play.
Come here. Watch out, Uncle Teeve. Uncle Teeve. Watch out. Raven needs her drink.
Firestorm, Red, Hard Rain Falling, Home Fires Burning, Lines in Shadow, Walking in the Rain by Al. Yeah. Surviving the Fall. I've read these. It's been a while.
Okay. I'm always up for good recommendations.
The writing is good. It is a little unrealistic.
But the writing is good.
Yeah.
I will take an unrealistic book as long as the writing is good. Emily, watch her. She's got her drink.
So here's the deal. Do we want to go with Walking in the Rain? Or do we want to hit Lisa Akers, Fight Like a Man? That's an option too. Lights Out by David Crawford.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Oh, Tank, do a survival manual and pick it apart.
All right. I actually talked about that.
All right. We're gonna do this right here, right now. How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by James Wesley Rawls. 5 stars, can't touch it. Excellent book, done. Yeah, guys, that would be my choice for a survival manual.
Barefoot Jen for the kids. Oh yes, Tank. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by James Wesley Rawls.
Nice try. Sorry, did you hear what she said?
No.
Go sit next to Mom. I'm not her mom.
What am I? Go sit next to Kim. I can't say that because you're my mother.
Ray Ray.
Go sit next to Ray Ray. Hey, it worked.
Come here, Ray Ray. Oh,
So.
yeah, you know my nickname for my nieces and nephews is Ray Ray.
So
Don't pick a good one. So you can't use that one.
yes, I can.
No, let's pick a terrible one.
How to Stay Alive in the Woods. That's actually a pretty good one too.
Boy Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
No, we're not doing that one. Besides, Johnny was only a Cub Scout.
Oh.
You were only a Cub Scout. You never went into Boy Scouts. And we're talking about the Boy Scouts Guide to Survive. I know.
You've seen the movie though.
It was funny.
A backpack to Europe in '99 went lots of places. Yes, cool.
That's something I've always wanted to do. Definitely.
Are we still thinking about doing the Camino one day?
Santiago de Compostela.
Yes.
Yes, I still want to do that. I have
So-
to work up to it though, because that is months of hiking.
So Tank says, "Don't pick a good one." Just happen to have. All right, let's do it because Badger's got it. We can at least know someone's going to have read it.
He's a Roddy. Oh, Tony said
I
he's
like a Roddy.
I
I like Roddies.
I like Roddies. Not all of them, but the good ones.
And besides, you know what? I'm going to bribe everyone. I'll make you all a deal. If we
Me
have,
too.
you don't count. If we have 5 people next month who have read How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It, I will give away a copy.
Ooh.
How does that sound? I've read through them twice and took notes. Okay, Badger,
That's
guess
fun.
what? You're in for next month, and you'd better be able to talk about it and help me keep on task.
That's one. We can get 5 people
I'll do a giveaway of the book.
that will actually show up at the live stream next month and have read the book and is able to help us pick it apart. We'll give away a copy.
I'll do you, or
Sonia says it's cool.
here's another question. Since most of the people, since I have to have 5 people who have read it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give away a copy of Tools for Survival instead.
Well, we can do both.
No,
Why not?
because we'll use Tools for Survival for a book review, and then we'll give away How to Survive the End of the World. So you know it.
No, I like the idea of the book review that we do, giving away a copy of the one that we do.
Okay,
So, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It,
by James Wesley Rawls
next month.
next month.
Now, this one is not. This
There
is
is
not
no-
a novel.
This is not a novel.
Boom.
You know, this is a survival manual. This is how many.
Bart said he read it, but it has been a minute. Okay, that's cool. Do you
Which
know-
one of you remembers the most? There you go. All right, fine, deal.
Now, how we done a randomly pick?
I'll figure it out.
Rawls knows his stuff. Ain't that the truth? I've read that book. I don't know how many times.
What will happen when the big machine is missing pieces? Orders won't get processed at the Walmart distribution center. The 18-wheelers won't make deliveries to grocery stores. Gas stations will run out of fuel.
Wait, we don't
Some
get
policemen and
copyrighted.
firemen
Okay. Are you making bubbles in that?
I've started the book already. Have you? Don't forget to shake her up first. That's right.
Babysitter's revenge, pop candy, and give back. Don't forget to shake them up first. See, that's the problem with her coming over to Auntie's house. I'll give her Mountain Dew and chocolate, and they'll give.
You do realize that if Nikki ever watches this,
She's a, you okay?
you got it, baby?
Yeah, she just drank it down too fast.
Tank is like, strike.
Strike.
Actually, Tank, believe it or not,
Okay.
being an admin on a couple of other Facebook pages, I loaned some of our hey Preacher Barry, good morning. I loaned some of our video content to the other channel's YouTube, and I received a notification that, you know, there might be a copyright because 100% of that video was our stuff. I just archived it and said it's fine.
It's fine. We don't mind mirroring.
So next month, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by Rawls.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will.
Now, how are we going to do the giveaway?
Well, I will sit here and I will make up pieces of paper, or I will assign numbers to people and roll a dice.
Okay. We have a D100, right?
I have a D100 somewhere.
So if 20 people, you can use a D20. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a D100 for anything over that.
There you go.
Okay. Or do y'all want the squishy to draw the names?
Are we going to be babysitting the squishy?
I hope not.
Okay.
I love you, baby girl. You go back to your mama now. That's what I like being about an auntie. I can send them home. I know, right?
There
Okay.
you go. Okay, so we've given Horton 5 stars.
Save versus toddler. What?
Saving throws. Okay, so we've given Horton 5 stars for.
I love The Borrowed World, and I would highly recommend it. Like I said, if it's an enjoyable novel on its own with good writing,
Mhm.
along with good practical knowledge to weave throughout the story without it coming across as a lecture.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. It's a good introduction to his writing style.
Okay.
So yes, I would recommend that. I
Okay.
definitely would recommend y'all reading The Borrowed World.
Okay.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 42.
Brian, you know I'm 42, right?
So he is the.
I am the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Samuel Patterson, welcome. We're actually getting ready to wrap it up. We've given, like you just heard, The Borrowed World 5 stars. Next month, we will be doing something a little bit different in that
It won't be a novel.
it won't be a novel. We are doing the survival manual, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by James Wesley Rawls. And we will be giving away a copy to someone who's there if I have 5 people who have actually read it. Now, Badger, you and I need to talk later because I've got an idea. NWA, are you still here? Have you read it? If not, I'm calling you.
Thanks for all the fish.
Should I call you?
Bye, Oki. You say
Bye.
bye to Oki. He's saying goodbye and thanks for the fish. Is there plenty of fish?
It's a line at the end of the book of I believe it's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or a restaurant at the end of the universe.
I've never actually.
The dolphins fly away through space saying, "So long and thanks for all the fish."
Gotcha.
Oh.
I never actually read Hitchhiker's Guide, so I'm going to have to now. Nerds. Geeks. I'm proud of it.
Look, I'm not saying that I'm the best, but you're looking at the only red shirt never to die in a TOS episode. Okay, NWA is gone.
Aw. Don't call him. It's late.
It's only 8 o'clock.
Leave him alone. Quit abusing your friendship with other YouTubers. This is why we don't get any more friends. Okay. Run away! Run away! Hey, Johnny. She's totally playing with the remote. She's about to change the channel on you. Go take it to Johnny. Go take it to Johnny. Give it to Johnny.
Prank call time.
Ask him if his refrigerator is running. Okay.
The YouTubers want to know, is your refrigerator running? It is. Shouldn't you better go catch it? Serious question. Serious question. Don't
He's got to hang up on you.
Have you read How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by James Wesley Rawls?
Oh, somebody would rather have a Prepping in Progress T-shirt.
Okay.
That's another giveaway.
Could you read it by next month and be a guest on the live stream? Okay, I'll remind you. Once a week, I'll send you a text to read the book. I got you. All righty, sir. Thank you very much, and thank you for dropping by the live stream. Yes, and we are recording this call. No, they're not hearing it. NWA Prepper says hi. Oh, it's like he was just there. Yes.
But they already miss you.
Yeah, they do miss you. Oki's kind of laughing at us, but yeah. All righty, brother. I'll talk to you later. But
all right. Brian says he would much rather have a Prepping in Progress t-shirt. So we are fast approaching 2,000 subscribers. And that is probably the one that I am saving that for. Because you okay? I would like to special order it for whoever wins, make sure we get the right size and everything to whoever wins it and have it shipped to their house. But yeah, I have to say that I was going to do a t-shirt giveaway, hopefully.
Okay.
Once we hit 2,000. Hi, puppy. But yeah, I have to say the book with the book review, and I think definitely because we're 1750.
17. I don't know. We got a huge boost.
Yeah, thanks to PJ.
Thanks to PJ.
Pastor Joe Fox. We had a huge jump in numbers, like 200 subscribers, something like that over the last day, couple of days, since he gave us the shout out. Oh, that would match my pit pen. Yeah, I know, right?
1.74K. So yeah.
2 a.m. there. Oh.
All right, Preacher Bear, get some rest.
Yeah, I've got a toddler I need to get rid of.
Yeah. So oh, she's awesome. All right, guys.
Yeah, we're not wrap it up. So recap.
One more time, since we've all heard it before. 5 stars, The Broad World. NWA Prepper, are you going to give away the NWA Prepper t-shirt when you get 2,000?
No.
You know what?
Prepping in Progress t-shirt.
You know what, NWA? I know a guy who might be able to get me an NWA Prepper t-shirt, and I will give away an NWA Prepper t-shirt and a Prepping in Progress t-shirt to the lucky person.
And I'll throw in a sticker.
Yeah. So Broad World was a great book. We loved it. Next book, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It by James Wesley Rawls. NWA Prepper has agreed to read it and be a guest here on the live stream.
Everybody bug him and remind him.
JS Badger, you read it. You be the voice of reason behind the throne, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, guys, we good? Ready? Break.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming. This was really fun. I really do enjoy doing these. And so even with toddlers and puppies running around.
It's been awesome. So I'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. Yeah, it is a puppy.